I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
And hello and welcome to the video. There's a cow mooing. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that. This is the first episode in a new series I'm making, Danny's Thaumcraft Adventure, and this first video I'm just testing out some new capturing methods, so you may hear some popping in audio, or the game audio may not be present at all. There may just be audio popping from the type of microphone I'm using. Either way, I apologise, and by next week I should have this problem fixed with some new hardware I'm getting, so it should be okay then. So here we are in the world, and this is a new seed. I have no idea what's there, and it's using the Thaumcraft. Well, it's not. It's Thaumcraft, which I'm going to be showing you, but it's the Yog box in total, which I'm using via the Tekkit launcher. Which, if you Google it, or I'll try and put a link in the description if I can, will take you to a launcher. Which, even if you are using PC or Mac, if you have no idea how to install mods on Minecraft, it doesn't matter. You will be able to just download this launcher, launch it as you would normally launch Minecraft, and you will be absolutely able to play this with the mods natively there, as though they're part of the natural game. So this is the Yog box version, sorry, and it includes Thaumcraft, more creatures, better towns, better dungeons, all of which I'm going to be focusing on in these videos is the Thaumcraft, which is basically, instead of going like Tekkit and going down a science and technology route, you actually focus on dark magic. So I have no idea what's on this seed. I can see a little house there. Let's try and get a better vantage point up here. And so this is basically the start. Oh, there's something big over there. This is me. Hello. This is the in-game Danny, and this is my world. I think there's a giant castle after. Excuse me. I think I've put the frame rate really short to save on lag whilst recording. So yeah, there's a giant castle, which I know from experience that that's probably full of skeletons, so that's not where I want to go when I've just started. But the Yog box does give you a series of gear to equip when you start, and of course the best thing you want to do when you start is start as you would in any normal Minecraft, which means getting free wool for a bed, wood, and some beef. So let's have a explore around whilst killing some sheep. Here's the first thing to show you as I'm walking around collecting crap. This here is a great wood tree, which yields a lot of wood, but it has a usage that you can use some machinery I'll be making later, which are thaumatic devices, which use magic to create new things, to combine crystals with this wood, which will then allow me to create enchanted wood. But I've only got a crappy wooden axe, and I'd need to use that to find some other stuff like building a temporary house, so I'll just save my axe for now and not get it. This here is a... Well, to be honest, I think it's tried to load a town, but it's only loaded one in, so it's giving us a population of 2, which are the 2 people inside. They will talk to you, they will offer trade and stuff, but that's not really something I focus on, just because that relies a lot more on the other elements of the Yog box instead of Thaumcraft. Like, here's a stingray, and there's a lot of other new sorts of creatures that they're just there. There's some which can serve a purpose, particularly there's crocodiles in swamps, which give a new type of leather, which can make a different type of armor. But aside from that, you can... They're basically skins of existing creatures. So you'll see a reindeer, and it will act and behave differently to a cow, but when you kill it, it will still yield beef with no major differences. Aside from that, I've not really noticed any major big animal differences. There are, if you're just starting out and you start in a snowy biome, a good way to get food is if you kill bears. They drop fish, which you can then cook the fish and, you know, live off that instead of trying to scrounge up some wheat, which is good. It's also recommended to grab any sugar canes you see, because you will be using a lot of paper in this mod, a lot of paper. And so now it's going a bit swampy. I'm really just trying to get some pig meat for food here, since there's not a lot of cows around here. But yeah, here we go. Here's a crocodile. Nasty buggers. they can hit pretty hard sometimes. I think this is normal difficulty. Excuse the bad frame rate lag. It sometimes does this when you're dealing with creatures like this. And here we have crocodile leather, which can be used to make slightly different armor. But I'd go more into that, but right now I'm just trying to get some meat before I starve. And my sword's already died. Okay, I'm just going to get a few more pieces of pork, and then I'll set up a little cabin. I believe that was an Indian culture town, although I believe they call it Hindu here. So yeah, I'll set up a small cabin near there to start off, after getting another couple of pigs. Oh, come on, pig. So I'm just going to build my house. It's just going to be a little crappy thing for now, and I'll just skip to the end when it's finished. Okay, it's the start of the second day. I'm inside my little lovely wooden cabin just outside the edge of town, and with the castle, which, yeah, I could just see there, it's covered in skeletons, which means that there'll be a necromancer in there. So I found something that you may find interesting. Here is a crystal. They give off a little light like a torch, so it's easy to find them down caves. There's a rat, they usually attack you at night. But here's a crystal, and you'll want a lot of these to do anything in Thaumcraft. So if I open my inventory, this is a tainted crystal. An aura called Viz, or Vis, or Taint in each of the areas in the world. And certain biomes, if they've got more taint, they'll produce more tainted crystals. If they've got more Vis, then they may produce, based on what type of biome it is, more earthen crystals or fire crystals. They all have an elemental theme for the most part. But Viz and Taint seems to be more like light and shadow. That's enough for now. I didn't dig all this out, it was just open here in the world anyway. So let's turn back to the hut and I can show you the crafting manual you get, which doesn't show you much, but it shows you the bare minimum to get started. So the first three devices you will need is a crucible, a thaumic infuser, and the quasitum. The quasitum is what you use to research any and all items in the game, which you can use to create theories, and you can then study those theories to create recipes, which I then added to this crafting book, so you can learn to make new items, like a pickaxe that can just mine like a tech-hit destruction catalyst, for example. So the first thing we need is a crucible, which requires, I think, iron for the cauldron. This requires stone and iron, but each of them require a crystal. So the rarest elements you need is 2 crystals of any type. It says Vis crystal, but you don't need to use that. Gold bars for the quasitum, and depending on your seed, ink sacs, because I know what you're thinking, squids, how bad could they be? But because this mod set has a lot of new creatures, like look, there's a deer over there, you can find a lot of stuff like stingrays and stuff populating the ocean instead. So first things first, let's just take a look around. Let's just see if we can spot anything. I believe squid tend to stick towards open water, but like, see, there's a little blue fish there. Sometimes it seems entirely random, like I can see some dolphins in the distance, and at first you will be, oh, very pleased to see some new types of creatures, but like, oh, look, a jellyfish. But eventually you'll get to the point where I think on one of my seeds I spent about 3 hours real world time looking for squid, although sometimes jellyfish can yield either squid drops or, as that one did, a slime drop. So that's really luck of the draw. But again, if you see any of this stuff, you need, basically, to fuel any research in the quasitum, you need paper. So you need a lot, and I mean an incredible amount of paper, because it's mostly random chance. You can increase your chances of finding a theorem or recipe, but either way, a loss will be a loss, and you will experience a lot of them. And there's a lot of underground and underwater caves here. A lot of clay as well that could be useful when making my house. So yeah, there's not a lot of squid. There's a pirate boat, I think, which means we're near the ocean. So let's keep heading this way. You need to be careful though, because you could run into a colony of mer people. I think is this a dungeon? think it might be. Oh, what do you know? Okay, there we go. Now let's just see if there's any treasure chests. Oh, there is. Ah, can't open it because there's something on top of it. Okay, well, I'll take that, thank you. So yeah, you can get some very strange stuff in the seeds, in case you haven't guessed. Okay, gunpowder I don't really use. I'll take some bread, thank you. So that's a not quite surface dungeon, but you basically see how there's a lot of stuff to see. Ooh, hang about. I may have something new to show you. So having that pirate giving me the evils. Ah, this is a monolith. Basically, it's buried here, but you can open the monoliths to receive a lot of treasure and artifacts. But you also release some taint into the world. Now here are 4 slots that you need to put Viz crystals in, but there can also be crystals of any type. However, each slot requires a specific crystal, and you can make a mad guess, but if you get it wrong, it just destroys the crystals. You can create an item called, I think, Thaumcraft Goggles, which allows you to see glowing symbols around each of them, and if it's blue you put in a water crystal, if it's red you put in a flame crystal, and so on. So really you don't want to touch those until you've created that, because you'll just be wasting your stuff. And I think I may get some great wood here, but I'm not seeing any squid. Like I mentioned, sometimes the biggest problem with the Yog Box is squid can be very rare, and you need that 1 ink sac to be doing pretty much anything in Thaumcraft. And it's kind of my only complaint, that the seed can really be to your detriment. And I mean, we've seen it spawn near a village and a castle, and that's all well and good and great to explore for just, regular survival purposes. But if you're really trying to make the black magic stuff of Thaumcraft, you absolutely need 1 squid ink. So I'm just going around the coast, hoping I don't run into a creeper that's been hidden. Ooh, here's something. See up there? That golem, covered by the loading times. Where's the sun going down? Oh, lovely. It's going to be good. This I'm not going to go into just now because I'm level 6 and I'm very terribly geared, but this is sort of a dungeon. It's a tower, and each of the levels, you can see by the windows on the side, will have 2 spawners inside it, usually a combination of zombie and skeleton, or zombie and spider. And each level also has a chest full of artifacts, so these are great to use just to farm stuff up, but they're best to go to during the day, where at some point you will be able to find the items you want without too much trouble. It's just started to rain and I still can't see any squid. Oh, go on, I'll just have a look inside. I can hear hissing, I can hear spiders, and there you go, see? And it's like that on every level, till you get to the top where there is a boss, which is a giant golem, and he will absolutely destroy you. Okay, I think it's time to head back towards my home, where I think I'll start setting up a mine, which will be the... Yeah, so there's another ship. Look at that guy staring about with a bow. The trouble with those, by the way, I should just mention, you don't really want to run up to them, because often they have a full set of armor on, but more likely than that, even if they don't have any armor, they'll have an enchanted bow that will shoot you and blind you for about 10 seconds. So you really don't want to run into those, particularly at sea, because they can really destroy you at lower levels. Although I think, if memory serves, if you die, you lose all your experience in your levels, but you do not lose your items. So that's, a little bit of incentive. So it's currently dark, it's currently raining, and I have no squid ink. Sad face. And is this another dungeon? No, it's just gravel. Sorry, you never can tell with how crazy some of these Thaumcraft seeds get. So I think I'm going to end this here, and hopefully move on to episode 2 with spelunking.